servo motor, clutch motor. So we've got the clutch motor and we've got the servo motor. One is not better than the other. It largely depends on what is it that you want to do. So if you're running factories and you got people who are highly trained and doing the same processes over and over, they're highly skilled in those processes and they go very fast. Industrial settings, industrial sewing machines, industrial settings, and you're not necessarily worried about noise and vibration. It's very heavy, it's going to last a long time. You know, there's just no substitute for iron and copper, and then boom, that's your ticket. And that's why there's so many of them. Now these are lighter if you're moving a machine much, if you're inexperienced, novice, hobbyist, if you're doing many processes that require precision and intricacy, or you have one machine and you have to do everything with one machine. So that means a lot of those processes you'll have to do slowly, and this is your friend when you want to sew slowly. This may be a better choice for you. It has the brushes that can be replaced. Some of the newer ones are brushless. This is a brushless style installed on one of my machines. It has a switch that's on the front of the machine. It has a readout that tells you different codes and what speed you have set. Back here we've got the motor itself, and it's much smaller. Also, there's a little bit of gap in between the motor and this control assembly, which is where the foot pedal controls the motor. These brushless are very nice. For as small as they are, it's amazing how much power they have. I've never found one to be underpowered. I'm happy with this unit, but I have found that this style, maybe because it's newer, you know, I've had to replace a few. Not necessarily this brand, mind you, but this style of brushless motor with the remote box that's mounted on the front of the machine. So the old style may be a little more robust. So it has a dial here, and you can set the top end speed. This control arm allows me to control very easily with my foot. I could sew slowly and then just push down a little more and sew medium and a little more and finally get to that ultimate high speed. When I set this at the top end, I could still sew slowly and easily control that with my foot, where I had trouble doing that with the clutch motors. This one is more easily controlled than what I have found these to be. These take a little more practice. So this control mechanism is very user friendly. So one thing I want to show is that these have basically the same mounting system on each one. So if you get a machine, you can take this one off and put this one right on into the same bolt hole locations that one of these came off of. It's an industry standard. This is your belt tensioning adjustment. I like this style because it has a remote switch. So you can mount this switch up at the front of the table by where you're sitting. So you can turn it on and off easily. It has a fuse that you could check without getting under the machine. Some of these machines will have the power switch on the front, usually next to this style here. As far as getting under the table to adjust the top end speed, it's my experience that once you get that set to where you like it, you don't really move it much. So getting under there just a few times, and in the beginning I was making more adjustments until I figured out where I wanted it, and I got to where I could just find it by feel. So this remote location is not that big a deal to me. But the switch, you use that every time. Also, it's a lighted switch, so that's nice because you can tell at a glance whether it's on or off, because it lights when it's on and the light is off when the motor's off. On the back there's a 110 volt outlet for a light, and here you can switch the motor rotation from clockwise to counterclockwise with the flip of a switch. Here's the motor information: 110 volt, the amps, the hertz, 550 watts. This one has a RPM range of 0 to 3450, and it's single phase. When you buy one of these new, you also get an extra set of brushes. So these are easily changed out here, so as brushes wear out, I mean, you got a new set right there. This is the where you hook the pedal between the unit and your pedal. So it's adjustable, it has nice joints on the ends, it has all the hardware you need. Got the guard that screws on right here. You've got the screws, the mounting bolts. You've got an extra brake in there. The servo motor has a brake also, so when you push down on your heel, it'll stop that spinning instantly. There's even some hardware in there for mounting your wires, and there's some extra fuses. So it's a complete package, everything you need for the next 10-20 years. Now, I've had several styles of servo motors. The ones that look like this are the ones I like. I've got about half a dozen of these. They're quiet, they're strong, they are simple to operate, they're graceful in application, and they just always seem to work. All of this, and they're pretty cheap too. So today these are about $100 shipped to your door. So I'm going to put a link in the description, and you can check them out. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're not already, please become a subscriber. Thanks for watching.